Welcome back. This is the second unit of my online dream training. So we've been looking in the first unit, at what do we know about the dream function? Why do we dream at all? Now here, before we move on to actually working with our dreams, we'd like to clarify this question: how do dreams originate? What part of us is able to produce these amazing experiences that we find when we wake up, that we have been dreaming? So I'd like to start with an example. A young woman dreams that she is climbing a ladder, quite steep, and she is in the middle of that ladder and feeling a little bit scared, not feeling comfortable at all, trying to move higher, trying to reach up there. And she's almost stuck, and until she looks up and sees that there is a woman up there that is reaching out to her, stretching a hand out to help her climb higher. So she grabs that hand and then finds more confidence and keeps moving up, and then reaches the top of the ladder. And then she wakes up. That's her dream. So what is this dream telling her? It really reflects a situation of her real life, where in her professional life she is faced with a challenging situation. She wants to reach a goal, and she finds it very difficult and challenging. However, the dream is not just reflecting that challenging part of her. The dream is pointing at that woman up there that is ready to help her. So who is that woman pointing at? Definitely at some inner resource. There is no one out there that is going to really help her, but the dreamer has some inner part, a part of her own personality that is wiser, more experienced, confident, and that in a way has already reached her goal in terms of inner reality. So she can rely on that inner resource. That is what the dream is telling her. And we can work with that dream in order to make her change perspectives and feel that confidence inside that she can rely on. We'll come back on this. Now the question: what part of us is creating that kind of experience? Well, we know for sure that dreams are meaningful experiences, at least sometimes, but there are many theories that try to explain the mechanics of dreams originating. However, none of these explanations are totally satisfactory, and sometimes they are even contradictory. 100 years ago, Freud came up with an explanation saying that dreams were an expression of our repressed inner drives, repressed desires that might have been unconscious. Well, after 100 years of research on human nature and dreams, we definitely find that explanation a little short. Certainly for this dream here, it wouldn't be totally satisfactory. So what is the more materialistic oriented scientific perspective telling us? Well, actually they have no clue. There is no scientific explanation that can tell us how actually the mechanics work that can create these kind of experiences. Now, of course, mainstream science is mechanistic. They consider that we are our bodies, and that whatever experience would have to be explained on a mechanistic level, how the brain functions, what kind of brain function can possibly create that. And in any case, they would want to understand that it is our dream, our wake cognition that is at the basis of our dream experiences. However, we know that our dreams originate in our right brain. We know that our wake experience is mainly left brain oriented. So for sure, we can exclude our left brain work, awareness, as being the origin of our right brain inspiration. This doesn't make sense. It doesn't work that way. What comes in through our right brain is not a creation from the left brain. It has to filter through the left brain if we want to be aware of what has been coming in. So that's not an explanation. As a matter of fact, mainstream science does not have a clue about the origin of our dreams. And it's not surprising, since they are still struggling with explaining exactly how the brain functions. The brain still holds a number of mysteries, to mainstream science at least. And also consciousness is still a mystery to science. How does consciousness originate? And what is consciousness really about? This is still a very open question. Not surprisingly, even life itself is still a mystery. How does life originate? How does, at one point, something that is just a dead body become alive? There is no start of explanation about this. So we may have to look somewhere else to understand, where is this dream experience coming from? How does it originate? What part of us is able to produce that? Now we have to turn to transpersonal psychology. A transpersonal perspective means that there has been research done on exploring consciousness and peak experiences in consciousness. And this research has pointed at the fact that consciousness is much more than what we experience in our normal wake state. It has been finding evidence of the fact that consciousness exists outside of the body, since transpersonal research has been exploring situations where people appear to be moving outside of their bodies and remain conscious of their experience. So, on the basis of that research, we can assume that consciousness is not seated in the brain, exists outside of the brain, and actually the brain might very well be just an interface between consciousness and the body. So that would indicate that there is a part of our being that reaches out beyond our physical reality. And that is not so surprising, because intuitively we all sort of understand that there is something in us that reaches beyond our body. We are not just our body. We can cut our body into pieces, lose a part of it, and still be aware of who we are. And even so, restricting our human nature to just our physical experience is very restrictive indeed. So we might want to look further about who we are, and that is the real question. Who are we really? And our dreams invite us to explore into that a little deeper. And transpersonal research has been evidencing the fact that there is a place where consciousness steps beyond our usual time and space experience. Time and space, as we know, is a very relative reality. There is no absolute notion of space or time. It is just one perspective. And as a matter of fact, we can assume that there is very likely a part of our being that reaches out beyond our time and space experience. And that means a part of our being, a consciousness level where here and everywhere is the same thing, where all the time and now are the same thing. Now, this is very interesting because it opens up possibilities for us being much more than just our individuality, which we know about, our personality. There might be a part of ourselves that is connected to the whole of the universe, everywhere, and to the whole of the time experience, a knowing that reaches far beyond what we think we are when we identify ourselves to our limited personality. Now, this perspective opens up a possibility of understanding that our dreams, indeed, may come from a part of us that knows a lot more about who we are, where we come from, and where we are going. Indeed, we might consider that there is some kind of dream intelligence, that dreams are connected with or come from. And if we accept that perspective, then indeed we can consider that dreams are very reliable, truthful informations, messages that are like coming from a part of us that wants to talk to us and help us in our daily life situation, help us solve our issues. It sends messages to us all the time, in fact. So we better open up to listening to that part of us and welcoming these messages. They can really help us in our lives, and we can develop this inner connection with the part of us that knows a lot more about life, about who we are, where we're going. So this gives us a valuable indication about how to work with dreams also, because dreams will be very meaningful access ways in a work that will be indicated in these dreams. Dreams will invite us to do some inner work, and we will work with that later. This is, for this question, where do dreams come from? Not just an expression of repressed desires, not just a mechanistic perspective, but very likely an expression of our deeper nature or higher nature, at least for a number of them that we can remember and that we can understand and where we can find interesting invitations and messages in. So this is for this unit. Now, in the next unit, we will look at how to understand our dreams, and we will get into some more meaningful basic work with our dreams. Now, before we do that, I still invite you to pay attention to your dreams. Remind yourself that you want to remember your dreams, any meaningful dream experience. Prepare some paper and a pen and write it down as soon as you wake up, even if it's in the middle of the night. Take some time possibly to recap the details of your dreams, then write it down immediately. Okay? Bye-bye for now. See you next time.